Hey, welcome back to ZK Master Tech. We're going to do another In the Day of the Life of a John Deere Technician, part 2. So here we got the 9630. It's fixed. So if you watched my last video, you would know that this tractor had an SCV problem, and it would only act up when you put SCV 3 into float. It would kill the pressure to all the SCVs in the whole entire valve stack. So I took the valve stack apart, took number 3 SCV out, tore it down, did not find a smoking gun, but sometimes there could be an internal problem inside of that housing that you just can't see. You know, it's the invisible problems that keep me up at night. So I put a new valve on it, put the stack back together, fixed, calibrated all the valves. Everything's working cherry, no leaks. It's ready to go back home. So update on the famous 9630. It is complete. And here's the 8400R. It kind of took a turn for the worst. Ben's been working on it for a while now. And you're pretty smoked, aren't you, Ben?
Yeah, it's frustrating, to say the least.
The rodents have not been nice to this one.
No, I don't think there's a wire untouched.
Did we upgrade the rodent to a squirrel?
I think that's what, the customer had said.
Yeah, the customer said it was a squirrel. Oh, for Pete's sake. I've been summoned. Okay, I'm back.
Hello.
So, what's the status now?
Well, we got the transmission harness on. Thought we'd be cherry, and we were not. We had a depth sensor over here on this side. I'm trying to get it off to show you. There we go. Then we had the RWA.
Oh, the def injector.
The def injector.
Yeah, it was chewed off.
Yeah, clean.
Like 8 inches of harness.
The wire between the harness and
the chassis harness.
and the sensor that was just non-existent.
Deleted.
So
And there was a huge nest right here.
oh yeah, I'm still picking pieces of it out actually, and twigs of variety of size. So yeah, we got that put back together. Thought we had that fixed. That code went away. No code's been sitting there at idle. Put it in reverse, start backing up, started throwing a wheel speed sensor code. I'm like, oh joy. Driving around the lot, yeah, it's acting weird, shifting funny, not behaving. Bring it back in, pull the duals back off, inspect on top of the axle. Sure enough, both primary and secondary wheel speed sensors chewed through, wires gone, left the chat. So, had to repair those wires off the chassis harness. Then got that all put back on, took it outside. No joy. Still shifting weird.
But no wheel speed codes.
No wheel speed codes. Now no codes, no cal pass, no do not pass go. We're
Yeah, it
shifting erratically.
It shifts erratically, and it doesn't set any codes.
No.
And we went through all of the transmission harness and double checked everything.
Down to the wire, the code. I mean,
we've done all of the pressure checks, the element leak tests.
I did find that R2 had a bad pressure sensor. Once I swapped it, I took it back out and then was able to pass a cal, but it did not fix the shifting issue.
Yeah. So we think we still have some unknown issues possibly in the chassis harness that we just can't see. So now you're going back apart to take the cab
And
completely
this time
off.
We're taking her top completely off. So,
and then we're gonna, see what's going on.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, Ben. That took a bad turn.
It's been a head scratcher for sure.
Stupid squirrels or rats or whatever.
Tree rats.
Tree rats.
Yeah. So hopefully we can get it figured out.
Yeah. Well, it's time to go home, Ben.
Yes, it is.
All right, so we're here at the next job. Here we got a John Deere 8310. These tractors are nearly bulletproof and have been around for years, and they're going to be around for many more years to come. These are good, solid tractors. This one I did a inspection on, and we're going to do some repairs, some things that I found, And the first thing we're gonna do is get this exhaust manifold off, because we got at least one broken bolt off in the head that I found. So I've got everything to basically replace the manifolds and put all new bolts in, but we're gonna have to drill and extract one of the bolts out of the head. So I've already got the, the hood's off, already got this fender off out of my way. So we're going to take this air cleaner pipe and get that out of our way. And then we'll start taking the heat shields off and then getting the bolts out of the manifold. Let's get into it. Sometimes you can just twist them and get them out. Oh, look at that. All right, I'm gonna get all the heat shields off here. I had forgotten how much I love those. Not. There. You can just hang out up there. So immediately after you get those off, you want to soak these bolts down. And say a prayer. I don't have my deep creep with me today. I'm kind of upset about that. I ran out. Here's the broken hole. We're going to give these a gentle tugging before we get heat involved. Wrench extender engaged. Did that move? Oh my gosh, it did. It did. Work it. It's cooperating. I'm not going to claim a victory until we get them all out. There we go. You guys like that wrench extender, don't you? It's a Matco. I got a giant one in the truck when things get real nasty. Get out of there. Oh, slipped off. All right. Get out of there. There. Ooh, that one was nasty. Oh, I did. It's going from the back here. This one's not being nice. Oh, we're winning. Got it. So for that one, I used an extra long snap-on flex head ratchet with an extra long extension. This is a Gear Wrench X Core extension. That way I can put a chrome on there that would fit in there. All 4 turbo mount flange bolts removed, gasket deleted. All right, so for the exhaust manifold bolts, I like to go for the shock and awe here. I like to shock the bolts with a 1/2 inch impact. I use mid torque, and then we're going to use a snap-on 1/2 inch 12-point impact swivel. It won't get to, it'll get to all of them, but I think one, this one right here. See, sometimes if you put just a wrench on it and you apply a slow torque, the bolt sometimes will snap. but if you jar it real hard with an impact, it'll break it loose without stretching and snapping the bolt off. That manifold just moved quite a bit, and I only took 2 bolts out. I mean, I think this manifold is warped, and that's why we're snapping the rear bolt off there. Yeah, so we can't get that one out with that gun. We're gonna have to try to brave it out. These bolts have a 12-point head on them. Oh, am I gonna get lucky? Yep. One left. Here's the broken one here. There's not much. There's maybe ½ inch of the bolt stuck in the hole, probably. But I know that these have been replaced before. The original bolts on these manifolds were a 6-point head. This has been changed over once already to the 12-point head, but you can still have issues with the bolts breaking. Normally it's either in the front or the back that they break. So we got to get this bolt out now. It's pretty yucky. Okay, so I got this all cleaned up real good. Brake cleaned off. I like to use a wire brush and just kind of brush around the hole so I can get rid of all that carbon so I can actually see what I'm dealing with. And I do see that we got a little burr right here kind of in the first thread, so I like to take a tapered single cut die grinder bit and just kind of work around the edge of that bolt to get rid of all the burrs. Now with those edges kind of cleaned off, we might have a fighting chance for penetrant oil to actually get in there and do its job. So now we're going to take a Matco automatic centering punch here, because we're going to be drilling this thing out. So we're going to try to get it as center as possible. And then it's usually got I got a little lip right here. Yeah, I don't think it's going to let me center punch it. It's too angled right there. So what you do is you can take your die grinder and make a center hole. Get a real strong divot. 1/8 inch drill bit. I'm gonna give it some quick speed bursts to get the hole set right. See, it wants to walk. We're gonna have to use a different die grinder bit here. All right, switching to a double cut round burr bit here. So if you don't think you got the hole centered and your drill bit walks, don't panic. You can fix it. Looking pretty good. Now we got a hole all the way through the bolt. Now we can squirt penetrant oil inside. Put some pressure on it. And try to force it out the threads. So we're gonna let that chill there for a second. All right, so we got an 1/8 inch hole all the way through, and we got penetrant hole on the back side of that bolt so it can start to work its way through the threads to give us a fighting chance. So now we're gonna try a 3/16 left-handed drill bit. I like to use a left-handed drill bit after I've already got the hole in there, so when you step up to a bigger size, the drill bit will actually bite a little harder, and if it's gonna pull it out, it'll pull it out now. But if not, it won't. I don't think it's going to. So I'm just going to take a little heat on. Heat around the bolt. Now we're going to try a number 2 Matco dual edge screw extractor. So I just bought these, so we're going to find out how well these things work. I'm just trying to shock the bolt a little bit while I drive this in. I'm not hitting real hard. Now let's see if we can get this to turn at all. I have my doubts. Extractor just turns, that's great. Like I said, I haven't used this Matco one before. We're testing. Well, I'm not impressed with that at all. It's just spinning. Wow. That was extremely disappointing. It already screwed that bit up. I wasn't even being that mean. Now I did have a set of gear wrench ones, but I ended up breaking most of them, but they were pretty mean. They definitely seem to be a little tougher than that. That bolt just seems to be harder than woodpecker lips. But I drilled through it pretty easily, I would say. Now that I got that hole kind of expanded, my snap-on spiral fluted probably won't bite now. At that size, 3/16 size. It definitely bites harder. Oh, baby. I'm gonna quit. It's definitely got the bite, but I can't go anymore or it's gonna break it off. So you're gonna fight me today, huh? That's okay. I'll win. Eventually. The hole is just maybe just a tad to the right. It's not horrible. But usually, if they don't come out then, they ain't going to. You could, you can put a nut over these and try to weld it and pull them out, but my welder is currently out of commission. Something went bad with the transformer in it. I got a new transformer, but I haven't had a chance to put it in. It has become one. Let's try one more thing. Turn this impact down. We're just gonna kind of my elbow said no more. No mas. You just don't want to come out of there, do you? I guess we'll just keep going bigger. Oh, we got that a little bigger. Let's try this thing again. Boy, those things are junk. That set of Matco screw retractors were $100. It didn't even leave dents in that bolt. That's the crazy thing. All right, so the bolt and the head had become one. It was not going to come out of there, so I just went ahead and drilled the bolt out the rest of the way. Now I'm going to use some combination of some spiral fluted taps. So here I've got a couple of spiral fluted taps. These are 3/8/16. So I'm going to start with this one to get the hole started, and then I'll eventually switch to this one and go all the way through. And the spiral fluting kind of helps get some of the chips out of the way, so they actually tap a lot better. I got my tap oiled. Let's do this. Using a snap-on tap socket. Time to switch. And the hole is tapped. So now I'll go through and I'll tap all the holes, clean all the mating surfaces, and then we'll get ready to go back together. Got all the sealing surfaces cleaned up, got new gaskets in place. I went ahead and put dowels in all the holes, and I've got a new exhaust manifold right here. It does come in two separate pieces, two different part numbers, and then you put a sealing ring on and then you put them together. The customer opted to go with a new exhaust manifold because, you know, this issue keeps happening with this old manifold, and it's warped and the sealing flanges are all ate up. That one just needs to go, or it would need to go to a machine shop to have some serious work done to it to have it planed down. But we're going to go ahead and put this new exhaust manifold on here and get it all bolted up with new bolts and spacers and new bolts in the turbo flange, and then we'll get all the shields put back on. And then after we get this done, we're going to move on and we're going to take the duals off the right hand side and replace a hydraulic hose that's leaking on the main hydraulic pump. take out a dowel. All right, so I'll just go through, get all the dowels removed and install the bolts, and then we'll torque them down. Normally I believe these torque to 35 foot-pounds, but these new 12-point longer bolts, we actually torque them to 45 and have a lot better luck. So I'm gonna first torque them to 30 and then work my way from the middle to the outside, and then I'll go back through and I'll torque them to 45. This one you just can't get your socket on just perfectly. $45. It just feels right. Got the turbo mount bolts all in there. I actually put anti-seize on these bolts because they're not coated like these. The exhaust manifold bolts are actually coated. So I always put a little copper anti-seize on these up here. Somebody will thank me later. And there you go. The shields are back on. I always put new hardware all on those shields, you know, help the next guy out. Those things are all rusty and breaking, you know, put new in so this thing can last another 10,000 hours. Got the air pipe on. We're gonna fire up this 8.1 liter and let it run and make sure we got no problems. So everything ran perfect. It did start a little funky, but I think it had a little air in the fuel system. The fuel filters hadn't been changed not too long ago, hadn't ran a whole lot. So, and I let go of the key thinking it was gonna start and it didn't, but I had to get back into it, but it fires right up now every time. Anyway, that's why you gotta have a fold out table in your service truck, because you gotta, you know, have all this crap out to do that job. Well, I got the hood back on, all the shields on. It's only got actually 3683 on it, so 3,600 hours. It's a pretty nice machine. You ain't gonna find another one around here with 3,600 hours. They're usually like 10,000 hours, so it's a pretty nice tractor. But we tried to get the wheel bolts off because we got to get this dual off and that inner dual out so I can get back in there to replace the line. There's no way that I can get in there and take the clamps off on the other end of the line without getting that tire off. But these wheel bolts have been in since Moby was a minnow, and they do not want to come out. I had my 1-inch impact out on it. It wouldn't budge. First I tried the 1/2 inch, no. Then I went straight to the 1-inch, no. And then I got my big snap-on 3/4 bar, and I hung on that thing as hard as I could. Those things did not even budge a little bit. So just gonna spray everything down. It's getting a little late in the day anyway, so I was just gonna take these duals off and then I was gonna leave, but now we're just gonna have to soak them and let them sit overnight, and we'll try again in the morning. Customer doesn't want to spend too much time on it because this hose that's leaking isn't super bad. It's kind of like a seep, It's coming out of a crimp, so this might turn into Pandora's box and we don't really want to go there. All right, well, I got my truck all packed up, ready to go back to the shop. My word, were those bolts tight. I don't know. I think you just have to get a rosebud out and start heating that hub up and maybe air hammering the bolts from the inside while they're hot with a 1-inch impact on the outside to get those things to come out. I mean, they're that tight. So we're gonna let it soak with vinegar oil overnight. I've got to come back here in the morning. I'm gonna drive back to the shop. It's about a 45-minute drive. So when in the morning, we're gonna do the hub oil on this tractor real quick, and then we're going to start working on the 8360R. So in the morning, I have to charge 4 accumulators for the ILS suspension system to bring up with me. So first thing in the morning, we're going to charge some accumulators with high pressure nitrogen. All right, it's next morning. We got our high pressure nitrogen tank. I got it regulated down to 350 psi. We got a 1 liter hydraulic accumulator here that we are charging to 350 psi. There's 2 of these smaller ones, and then there's 2 bigger ones that are 2.8 liters. And we charge these to 350, and the 2.8s we charge to 650 psi. So I regulate the pressure there. It comes into this valve block here. I can see the pressure here. And then this little stem is attached to a little Allen plug right here. So whenever you loosen this, it opens that Allen plug, lets the pressure in, it stabilizes it, and then you shut this right here, and then you take all this off, and then you put a little plastic cap over there, and then it's ready to rock. All right, so I got the accumulators charged up, drove back up here, back to the 8310, and I'm gonna change the hub oil on the front hubs here real quick. And then maybe while it's draining, I'll try to loosen the wheel bolts on the other side again, just to see if they'll even start to budge or not. So we'll get those drained and refilled. And then if the tires don't come off, we're gonna hold off on that because we got to get the 360R in here and do a bunch more work. And it's a little bit more important to get that 360R back together because it's got to go in the planter. And the planter still needs worked on, so we need to get that 360R done. Let's give it a whirl. Oh, slipped off. I can't get the right angle dangle. Oh, I got one. I need to switch sockets. Try that. No. Negative. Just one. Yeah, theirs won't budge. Guess we'll tighten that one back up. Whew. Whew, that's a lot of shaking to hold on to. That thing's pretty mean, but no dice. We might have better luck if we had the weights off to where I could put a 1-inch socket directly to the gun and get like directly on it. We lose a little bit of torque when we adapt it to 3/4, but that's what I need to get in there a little better. And if I put another extension on, we're just going to lose even more torque. All right, hub bolts changed. I am all done with the 8310 for now. We're going to put a pin in the situation with the hydraulic hose that's leaking that we can't get the duals off for now, and we're going to pull in the 8360R next. All right, so got the 8310 done, got the 8360R pulled in here. This is the last tractor I got to do at this farm. Another technician's going to come after I get this tractor done and hooked up to a planter, and he's going to go through the planter. So this guy will be ready to go planting this spring. So unfortunately, we ran out of time for this video. I'm going to do another video on this tractor because I got about 2 days worth of work to do this tractor, and I want to show you guys the repairs on getting an 8360R ready for spring. Also, check out my channel, go to the channel, and I have made some playlists for you guys. I made a new one, the best of ZK MasterTech. So all of my greatest videos, my greatest hits, you should say, I put all in a playlist for you guys to enjoy. Also, there's, you know, harvest service calls, spring service calls, there's tool truck tours and tool videos. I put them all in convenient playlists for you guys to binge watch. So check those out. Also check me out on TikTok at the ZK MasterTech. Check out my social media, Facebook, follow Zeth Key, Instagram, ZK MasterTech. I'm posting stuff on there, so don't forget about the social channels. I appreciate all your guys' supports. I appreciate you guys liking the videos, subscribing to the channel, commenting, letting me know how I'm doing. Ask me some questions. I'll try to get some answers to you guys. Keep up the comments and the likes and the subscribes. I really appreciate it. And until next time, keep that green iron moving.